Kelly, we were talking about social media before the break, and that was something we were actually talking about when we were preparing for the show. I got called out on it with my kids all the time. They say, Mom, you know, you yell at us to put our electronics down, and I say, but I'm working.
Right.
You know.
Right. So we found that in our home too. It was really my son and my boyfriend calling me out, and I would say I'm working too. I work a full-time job, and then I also work at Sunny Social at night and on the weekends. So I feel like that's the only time that I'm able to get it done. So kind of like what you guys said before is actually setting aside time. So if I have an hour, I would make sure I take an hour to be able to do that. Usually it's during dinner when I'm preparing dinner, and I'm a multitasker, so it's something that I have to do. But what I've noticed now with social media is the kind of, you can really get caught up in it for hours.
Very true.
Yes.
Especially when running different businesses, you can also do that too. So being able to stop doing that and just focusing on family, getting back to the basics, that's what we try to say in our home.
Definitely. You know, and I think when we have businesses that are so social media driven, I know Cori has another business that's very social media driven. All of my business is all online. That's, you know, how I get my business. I know that's definitely the way you guys are as well.
And social media is a new element. We didn't have to deal with this 5 years ago. So it's something we're all learning how to kind of get used to, how to fit it in, when to shut it off. And what are some things that you do?
Well, and I think it's interesting too with the snow days recently that we're going. There was this opportunity to just focus on either social media or nurturing the relationships in your house. But I think if we, from my standpoint, when we look at social media as something to really enrich the presence that we've shown up with people, as opposed to this is my presence, but instead really enriching it, adding on to it, nurturing those relationships that really feel like they resonate for you. I think it can be a really nice addition, but I think when it becomes the center, it really does take away from relationships to an extent. So it's that balance, again, back to our main word. So
it always makes me think about, you know, like when you're at a store and you're waiting in line and someone's talking on the phone and you get frustrated because you're like, I made the effort to come here to ask a question or come here to shop your store, and you're wasting time talking to somebody, a customer on the phone. And I think the same thing at home. You know, here I am on the phone texting friends, you know, or on Facebook, and there's people in my home who want my attention.
That's right.
And they're there. You know, so it really is thinking about, you know, you have your friends online, you have your friends who are with you, and just really embracing the fact that, you know, you need to cultivate those relationships with people who are present with you.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, you know, balancing a schedule. You know, making, you know, you're really great at making lists. I love your list.
Everything out. I make my own planner. Pinterest is a great place to go. I don't buy a Franklin Covey or whatever. I make it for myself. And I map from 15 minutes down to 5 minutes, just so I can really plan. Do I follow it? 100% no. But it gives me a guideline.
Okay, because I felt really pressured. That
No, but
I think that's a great point, which is it doesn't have to go this way. But at least I'm setting my intention at the beginning of the day of how I would like it to go.
Right.
Which I think is powerful in itself, but letting life take its course. You can't control everything. Yeah, definitely.
Because if not, I think we get carried away with whatever we're doing at that moment. You know, and if you know, okay, I can give you, I love how you always tell me, I want to give you an hour. We need FaceTime for an hour.
Yes.
If you give that person a time frame, I just need an hour. Or if you get on a phone call, I only have 5 minutes. But I want to get that accomplished in that 5 minutes.
And setting that tone the minute you start, so people know what to expect as well, makes it a lot easier, less pressure.
Yeah, definitely. So you can get accomplished what you need to get accomplished, and you're done.
I just recently found that when we put down the phones and actually look around, I have a friend who started Oregon on the Bay. She takes pictures on the bay. And she had taught me to put it down and come see what I'm taking pictures of. So, I mean, this is in our backyard. We're forgetting about that. We're forgetting about the parks. We're forgetting about those moments. And the one thing that she always says that really sticks with me is be in the moment, not with social media, but what's around you and appreciate it.
I think, you know, a learning thing for me is, you know, my son was doing something really cute, and he's like, Mom, take my picture and put it on Facebook. And that was like a moment that I was like, oh oh my gosh, he thinks if I'm not taking his picture, I don't think he's being cute.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it almost is like he is evaluating himself by what I'm doing with his
Yes.
pictures, and I'm just like, oh
That's a
no,
great
Dylan, you know, I am just enjoying you. I don't need a camera to do that either, you know?
And every time I take a picture of Jenna, she wants to see it.
Yeah.
Let me see it. Let me see
Yeah.
it. And then, oh, that's not cute. She said, oh, that's not cute. And I'm like, well, oh, that's what we all do. We all take a picture and we analyze if it's cute or not. And then we delete it if we don't like it.
And
So
if
we
it's
need
good
to be
enough,
able
then
to-
it goes on social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So that's definitely, we need to look at that balance of our time that we spend with our children, and if we take a picture, if it's cute or not, we do need to look at that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good topic for the next, to move into would be family.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
planning your time for your children as well. Like I set out every week we have family day. We go to church on Sunday, brunch, and then you have an hour of game time or whatever. And again, it goes down to the scheduling, putting it back in place.
I could use you.
I'm for hire. Life.com.
And I think if you put it in your phone, like, I put time in my phone, just like I put workout time in my phone. I put, on my schedule, I put it.
You're tech savvy.
I
You're
do.
good. See, I have to write everything out. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I make lists.
But that's
and
okay.
reminders.
And however it works for you, I think that's the way. Because if I get an alert, okay, I'm supposed to be here for this time. Okay, that's what I got to go do. And I try not to reschedule that, because that was my time I'm supposed to be there. But if I just think in my head, oh, I'm going to go here for an hour, and then I just, I can move that.
Right.
So.
Another thing is, if your son is home, if your kids are home, and your husband's home, why are we worried about what's going on outside? Put the phones away, turn off the ringer, put them in the bedroom, spend some time.
Turning off the ringer, that's a great point. I think too, also when we go to bed, we were just saying some of us go to sleep with our phones under our pillow or next to the bed.
Yeah.
And I know for
That
Apple
might be
users,
me.
you can set a timer on it. So I forget what it's called, but it shuts off by 10
Mine
sleep
does,
mode.
yeah.
Yeah, so by 10 o'clock, it's done. You can't get those calls, and then you set it for whatever time you're up and ready to go to work. And that kind of helps you check out a little bit. Otherwise, it dings all night, and then you're constantly checking it. And
In my Facebook, every time it lights up, I need to turn that off too for that same time.
I did turn mine off
Yeah.
for Facebook alerts.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes, like I've taken Facebook off my phone. Because it is such a habit-forming thing
It
that I'm
is.
on it. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm on this right now. Like, I don't even care, but it's such
I don't even care about that person.
Right.
Like that much.
It's such a habit
Yeah.
that I've just taken it off my phone.
Definitely.
Just to break the habit of it.
Well, after the break, we're going to definitely talk a little bit more about family and balancing that out. And time with our husbands or significant others, I think we also need to figure out how to balance that as well.
or time for yourself if you don't have
Or
a significant
or
other.
yourself. And I think time for ourselves is definitely something
right.
that I think we definitely, as women, sometimes forget about.
Okay, we'll get to that after the break.